Messi. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just when you think he's done everything, he comes up with something even more special. Nani.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of Soccer Card Collective with Dan, Vince, and Luke, and our special guest, our first ever guest. You should be quite honoured. We've got Troy here, T Reich 415 on Instagram. How you going, man?
Thanks for having me. I didn't know I was first ever. This is quite the honor. I'm even more hyped up now. Let me settle in here. Get ready.
I was going to give you the Joe Rogan great and powerful Troy, but I thought I'd turn it down a bit.
I need a cooler nickname. I need to start thinking of that. I need a more hype nickname, but we'll get there. I just got to keep building the YouTube up.
Absolutely.
One day.
Vincent, Luke, how are you both?
Not too bad.
Fine.
Pushing through. Big weekend of football. A lot to talk about.
Huge weekend of football.
Especially from one side of Manchester.
He's already called them out. He's already called them out.
No, I think they deserve it. I think they know what's coming. I think they know.
You can't wait. Can't wait to get to it. Can't wait. I can't wait because I'm a big Juventus supporter. I'm a little bit upset about Cristiano left last season. So, I don't know. It's just a selfishness in me. Anyway, so when we get into it, but we'll start off with the Champions League. Did I cut out?
Yeah, I think it cut out.
Am I good?
Yeah,
a little bit there. Yeah,
I just thought it was my internet. Yeah, go on.
No. I think we caught it
good,
though.
lads.
You were just saying you're selfishly rooting against Ronaldo or something like that.
Fill in the blanks.
Yeah, just I just went on a bit of a rant, but that's all good. Don't worry about it. That's just me getting out a bit of steam. Let's get into the games for this week. Get straight into it because we've got a lot to go through, and I'll bring that up for you now. We'll get into the Champions League, which was about a week ago now. So see how much you guys can remember from it. We had Sporting beating Besiktas 4-1, Manchester City annihilating Club Brugge. Vincent,
Close.
what are your thoughts on that?
Club Brugge. Yeah, I mean, they really came out just firing. Club Brugge had a good couple of games, but no, they just obliterate them. I don't know. And then you have Van Aken scoring a goal again. I cannot stand that guy, but he seems to score.
What can't you stand him for?
I don't know, man. He's like a farmer. He's a literal farmer. Like the way he moves, the way he talks, the way he acts. He's just a farmer. Like he met the king, and he was just standing there with his hands in his pockets, like I don't know.
Sounds like a real down to earth guy, hard worker.
Jeez.
Yeah, no.
It sounds of it, he's playing in the wrong league.
Yeah, he should be league.
Yeah,
but yeah. What's interesting in this game, and I'm not sure if a lot of people actually saw it because I actually didn't see a lot of posts about it. Kevin De Bruyne got swapped out for Palmer, who is 16 or 17 years old, and he scored 2 minutes later. So he played. I think he played 2 or 3 games that day. He had to play with the under 17s, under 23s, and then he joined the first team. He actually came on and scored like Cole Palmer. There you see it, 67th minute. So big day for him. But yeah, they were just too good. City was just all over them.
It's interesting you say that, how you're saying you didn't see many posts about it. I saw some not card-related ones, though. It does sort of show where we are in the market at the moment, where these young guys coming on and doing stuff like that aren't getting massive hype like they would have, say, a year ago, 9 months ago.
Yeah,
I feel like it'd be a different. I feel like it'd be a different story if this was a year ago.
Yeah, but they completely destroyed it. City.
Got Global in the chat. How are you, man?
Global, what's happening?
What's up, Global Sports Card Investor? Long time no see, man. Hope you're well.
Then what other games have we got here?
Chelsea.
Completely lost my spot. Chelsea got the win as well. Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. So Real Madrid 5-0. PSG got the win over Leipzig. That was a final minute goal by... Oh, not final minute, like in the final stages, penalty by Messi. 2 goals in this match. Did you guys watch that at all?
Wasn't that the one? Oh no, never mind. That he gave a penalty to
yeah,
that's the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we're both wrong, I don't know. It is that game, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He could have got a hat trick, and
then he gave it to Mbappe and he bottled it. Yeah, okay, that was the one.
Yeah.
Andre Silva scoring. It's my boy, Andre Silva.
There you go.
But no one was talking about it, so let's see
back here. Then we've got Barcelona 1-0. Did you catch that one, Troy? Your boys?
I did not. I did not see that one, but at least we're winning a game. We'll take it.
It's good. No.
No.
Atletico Madrid was a bit of a cracker, 3-2 victory. So you had Griezmann scored 2, and then you got red carded in that one there.
It's like, my job done. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. We're good.
Someone said it was like the Bundesliga logo. Like when he got he got his boot up. That was crazy.
It was a little bit harsh. Like he was going for the ball, let's be honest. But he just...
What else? Wonder Kid Derby, Bayern, Dortmund, Ajax.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had Ajax annihilating Dortmund in this one here.
There you go, Anthony. I've talked about him a couple of times already. There you go.
Haaland was out. Was he out for this game as well? I know he didn't play on the weekend.
No, I think he was playing in this game.
He played in this game?
Did he?
Yeah, he played.
Oh,
he played the full match.
I heard he's going to be out for a little while.
It must have been something with the referee then, because they cannot lose 4-0 with Haaland in there. There is an explanation.
There.
Yeah, there's an explanation.
It must just be because of how good of a player Gravenberch is.
Probably.
Get those rookie cards. I'll put it all on Gravenberch.
Fair.
I think Dortmund's just not a very good team.
They aren't.
As much as the rookies out there are well sought after in this hobby, I don't think that they're any good at all.
There's also not the point of Dortmund. They're just like a bunch of youngsters and then they sell them on. That's same with Ajax. You see it every year or every couple of cycles.
There was that period where they made it to the Champions League final where they played Bayern. How long ago was that now? 5, 6, no, more than that. 8 years ago or so?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, so it's been a while since then.
Once in a while, they do have some, like a group that can push it further. But you see, it's Royce is maybe one of the like Hummels came back, but Royce is maybe the only player that's been there since God knows how long. He just sticks around and
that stayed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had Götze as well, Lewandowski, Hummels.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if there's any more. The 3 off the top of my head.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. But yeah, you're right.
Like Kagawa went to United as well.
I was going to say, I think it's pretty simple, right? Like I say it all the time. I'm not a tactical genius. They're just bad on defense. Like that's all it is. You know, you're giving up 4 goals. I mean, obviously the offense didn't have it on that day, but it's just they have not been solid. They're consistently bad defensively. Like almost every single time I tune in, like I said, not a tactical genius, but I'm like, what are they doing? What is going on? Like guys supposed to be unmarked, running right in. I mean, it's going to be hard to win games like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just rely on the power they have to outscore opponents. But yeah, true.
Keep going through. Villarreal 4-1 over Young Boys. Your Boys, Chelsea 4-0 over Malmo. Also another 4-0 victory. Bayern over Benfica. I was pretty surprised by that result. Juventus
What do you mean? Surprised? We should have been 7-0.
Surprised by 4. Well, I mean, pre-game, I
Yeah.
didn't expect them to win 4-0, But, after watching the highlights and the like, you're right. They should have won 7-0. They're just an absolute machine, that team. I swear to God, they're out of control. Juventus 1-0, grinded out the win.
Well, there's something about our game before that sort of leads on to the weekend is the injuries to Lukaku and Werner, which, we can talk about a bit later in our game on the weekend. But yeah, apart from that big win, so it's always good.
Well, mate, you guys have Mason Mount, man. He's more than coming up with the goals. Don't you worry about that. You guys have Mason Mount. He's coming up with the goals.
Definitely.
Yeah. Then there's this result here. Manchester United 3, Atalanta 2, and I was getting really excited being a Serie A fan and seeing Atalanta be 2-0 up. It wasn't meant to be. They came back to score 3 goals. Rashford, Mr. Maguire, and Cristiano Ronaldo got the victory in the end. What were your thoughts on this game, boys?
I think you can probably tell us best out of everyone is Ronaldo saving the day again for United. Something that you saw so many times at Juventus. Seems like it just keeps happening when they need it, apart from this morning, but in this game again.
I was watching this game, and then I saw Maguire score, and I was like, obviously, it had to be him. And I was just waiting for that next goal, because Atalanta was good in the first half, but they were like nothing compared to that in the second half. Like they were a glimpse of what they were. So it was obvious that they were going to come back. But yeah, then having Maguire and then obviously Ronaldo, it's inevitable at this point almost in these big games when they need him the most. When Oli needs him the most, he delivers. So he couldn't do it this weekend, but yeah, it's Champions League. Champions League is still more important, I would say, than the league, because you still have like 38 games in the competition. Where you don't have too many games in the Champions League if you go out in the group stages. So
yeah, and I think it says everything you need to know about this game. I mean, I know we're going to get to it in a little bit, but even though Manchester United won, everyone's like, "Oh my God, Klopp, Liverpool must be so excited watching this game." That just kind of shows like how it's been going for them.
Oh, good old Fred in there. Love to see it.
Yeah.
He actually had a decent game, mate, Mr. Fred, in this one, but not so much.
He was dead on too, like Scholes. He said after that Atlanta game, if they don't play with 5 in the middle or whatever, or they don't find a way to fix the midfield issues, they're gonna be 3 or 4-0 down at half against Liverpool. They didn't fix the issue, obviously, and they were 4-0 down.
No,
I hope you put some money on that.
I don't think he's allowed.
He was very good, Scholes, because he was saying that you can do that against a team like Atalanta and go 2-0 down and eventually come back. But against a Liverpool, you don't have that opportunity. And even in this game, like Demiral coming off because of that injury, he's so important to that back line, completely threw them out as well. And they just took advantage up forward.
Yeah.
Let's go over to the Premier League. Arsenal continuing their winning form, 3-1 over Aston Villa. I believe they're on the same points as Manchester United at the moment, which is very difficult to believe.
Yeah, isn't that funny? The relegation battling Arsenal are on the same amount of points as title contending Manchester United. It's definitely interesting.
I've seen that sentence so many times. Yeah. Everywhere.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it needed to get a bit more airtime. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be honest. Are Arsenal really relegation contenders? I don't think so. It's still funny.
Yeah, exactly. It's more
Chelsea.
comedic value.
Jesus.
Let's talk about this one here. 7-0 annihilation of Norwich, with Mason Mount getting a hat-trick.
You summed it up there perfectly. Absolute annihilation. Played really well. Norwich weren't good, but we did play very well. Mount with the hat-trick. Like I said before, with Werner and Lukaku both injured, I was a bit not worried, but I was a bit sort of curious to see how Havertz would go playing up top by himself in the false nine, if you want to call it that. Hudson-Odoi played very well as well. He doesn't get many minutes these days, so it was good to see him play well.
Chalobah full game too.
Yeah. So yeah, overall positive signs against a pretty bad Norwich team. But
what's that, Sargent?
Josh Sargent.
Yeah,
I was about to say we got to shout him out.
Yeah. Didn't look too good apparently.
No.
I mean, the thing with him is like, sorry, I keep repeating myself that I'm not a tactical genius, but I got to keep saying it. Like, people keep saying Josh Sargent is good in terms of what he brings to the team, but he just doesn't score goals ever. Like even before he moved to Norwich. So I'm just not sure. I don't know. I would like to see him start scoring some, but it's all right. We have Pepe, so we're good. We're not worried about it.
It's also hard. He plays at Norwich. What is he going to do? Next to him is like a 36-year-old dude. It's hard. It's hard.
I get it.
But you're right. As a center forward, you should score goals. One day.
It's your job, really. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's like the Balotelli quote said, does the postman celebrate when he delivers the mail?
The legend himself.
The legend. Crystal Palace won all with the richest team in the world, Newcastle. Leeds United won all with Wolves. Everton 2-5 Watford. Looks like that was a very good game. Did you guys catch that?
No,
I didn't,
Not
unfortunately.
Really. Southampton, Burnley 2-2. Man City continues their run 4-1 over Brighton. West Ham 1-0 over Tottenham. So another loss for the Tottenham fans to sorrow over.
So Spurs have really fallen off since the start of the season they had the first few games.
Yeah.
I think next week they play United, so that'll be interesting.
Where's actually Tottenham?
Leicester 2-1 over Brentford. Brentford showing that they're battling. They're battling with the top teams, which is great to see. And finally, we arrive at Liverpool 5, Manchester United with the man, the legend, Mohamed Salah, bagging a hat-trick in this game. One of only two to score at Old Trafford with Ronaldo since Ronaldo, or the last one since Ronaldo, the
real Ronaldo.
To actually do that, score a hat-trick at Old Trafford. Amazing.
That's the
real Ronaldo, sorry. I don't like saying, Ronaldo and Nazario. Like, everyone should know Ronaldo is the Brazilian Ronaldo. The real one.
Yeah,
anyway.
crazy game. Look how many cards. This is crazy. They were Maguire, Shaw, Fred, Bissaka. They were just was hopeless. It was like hard to watch too, because they were always one step behind. They were always too late. And looking at this game, it's actually I'm not even sure what the right word is. It still surprises me that they still find ways to really beat teams, like, because there was no line in it. There is no game plan. There is no tactical whatever. Some people just run around whenever they want. Then you see some guys press, but it's only one guy. Maguire is always out of position. It's like, how do they even play? Like, how do they train? What's their tactical analysis like? It's like, if you watch these shows, there's like people like Scholes, like, I don't know, Ian Wright, I think was one of them. They were like, if you analyze it, you cannot tell what they train on. Like, if you play an opponent like Liverpool, you don't want to give the midfield to them. Well, that's exactly what they did. So it's like, how do they train? How do they prepare for a game? And it's insane to think that you have players like you have at Manchester, and then you play like this. It's pretty crazy. And yes, Scholes was right. Like, if you play like this against Atalanta, it works, but against Liverpool, it didn't turn out that well. 36% possession at home Imagine this. Imagine the Manchester United team from 2008 or something having this result. Like they would almost get fired or something. I don't know, but here it seems normal. Okay, yeah, they lost 5-0, but it was the way. And it's also the question gets asked a lot: does Ronaldo bring something to this team? What do you guys think? Is Ronaldo a good addition to this team?
I think like we spoke about at the start, from a commercial point of view and business standpoint of the club,
my opinion
yes.
on that.
Yeah, I was going to say from that point of view, yes, like he brings in a lot of shirt sales and people into the crowd and fans through the gate. From a mentorship point of view, I'd say so as well in terms of the like what he can teach the youngsters and stuff like that. But I feel like that effect only lasts so long. And then what he brings as a player now, I don't know. It's not what they needed. It's definitely not what they needed. I feel like I said it from the start. I feel like they panicked when they brought Ronaldo in because they didn't want him to go to City. I felt that from the start. That was the main reason they brought him in. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to go to from here for United. What happens now? Do they sack Ole? I've heard Zidane.
They're not going to.
You don't reckon?
No, they're not going to.
That's the thing. Like they were just. To be honest, when I saw the result this morning, I actually wasn't very surprised because from the games I've watched a fair few United games this year, and they haven't been good in basically any of them. All the results, all their wins are scrappy at the end. Ronaldo saves them. De Gea saves the penalties, and he saves their day. They're just like, I don't know. They haven't been convincing. Their performances haven't been convincing at all. There's been like 2 games where they've had 2 big wins. One of them was because they played well. And the other one was basically because I think it was
Leeds,
Newcastle.
wasn't it? Wasn't it Leeds?
Yeah, Leeds. It was because Leeds were very bad.
Yeah.
Was the other one Newcastle where they smashed Newcastle 4-0?
Yeah, maybe. I cannot remember.
That game there, they played well. But I don't know. They just haven't been convincing at all this season. And I don't know where it goes from here. How much more can United fans take, really?
I mean, my thing is too.
Yeah, go.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I'm done. You mentioned Ronaldo. We haven't even talked about Sancho. Like, I mean, that's a signing I think we should critique, if anything. I mean, he just doesn't, and it's not just him, but it's everyone. It's just like, you can put the blame on Ole. It just doesn't seem like the pieces fit together. The puzzle pieces don't fit together in the right way. And I think they have so much talent, but it's I mean, it's simple. It just doesn't really seem like they complement each other in the right way. And I think that's on the manager to bring the most out of his team. But that's just what I've been seeing whenever I watch. It's just like there's no flow. There's no flow to the team at all. And you can't be an elite team without that, no matter like who you sign, Sancho, Ronaldo, all these guys.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Sancho didn't even come on today. I'm pretty sure it was an unused sub for this game. But then again, Rashford sort of taken his position, and Rashford scored 2 in 2 games since his return. So I sort of see that.
Yeah,
Pogba came off the bench, got sent off. So
that's the crazy thing too. It's like
at.
I don't think they're necessarily making the wrong decision by keeping Sancho on the bench. They have talented players up there, and he just doesn't fit with certain lineup combinations. Certain people need to play in a certain position, and there's just not room for Sancho. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even like he's played necessarily bad. I know he hasn't lit the world on fire when he gets out there, but I'm just saying, like, you bought him and you knew already who you had and who needs to play where and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, what did you expect to happen?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah, it was a pretty good analysis. I'm not sure where it was, but he said Oli likes to play pressing. You cannot do that with Ronaldo because he's not going to press, or he's gonna do it for like 1 time or 2 times. So pressing game goes out of the window. But you still have players who, out of nothing, start to press, and then it's only one guy. The other ones don't follow. There is a gap in the middle. Maguire doesn't cover it, and stuff like that. As you said, you cannot be an elite team without a game plan, and they don't have one. So it's crazy. It's really crazy.
And it's tough too. I know Vincent loves these, so I waited until 25 minutes in. I'll make a basketball comparison.
There we go.
When you sign Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, you don't really have to worry about how they fit into the team. Like, they literally do. You can see they figure it out on the night. Like, they'll get off the plane, they're in the team, they go and win the game. But you're seeing it with Ronaldo, and you're even seeing it with Messi to an extent. Speaking of someone who doesn't press, like, they're still trying to figure out the Messi, Mbappe, Neymar thing. Because over there, like, we've seen them struggle. Because Ronaldo, like, this sounds so disrespectful, but it's not really disrespectful. You have to fully construct your team around Ronaldo and Messi, especially at the age they are now. And like, you know, when they're being added in last minute, I don't think it's wrong to say that there's going to be consequences to that. Like, you have to figure out how the rest of the team is going to work around them.
Yeah,
I think we saw Bonucci and Chiellini come out in the media recently, absolutely slamming Ronaldo and actually saying how much of a better side that Juventus is now that he's gone. Like, in all honesty, well, he was pretty much slamming him because of the way that he left. You know, he left 4 games into the season and made his intentions clear. That was very disrespectful to Juventus. But I believe he's right in respect to, you know, the fact that we pretty much played, or our whole game plan was getting it to Ronaldo, making him look better and you know, getting us out of bad situations, even though, you know, there are deficiencies elsewhere in the squad. And that's not what you want. You want to, you know, address those issues and get better players in. This midfield is terrible in my book. You mentioned flow before. That all comes from the midfield. So that disjointed, you know, link between the defense and the attack just seems to really break down here. And not playing Pogba over the last few games seems to be Ole not really trusting him. I've noticed he started out the season really, really well, and I don't know what's going on with Pogba and Ole.
Well, just look at that bench. Just look at the bench. Like, you have Cavani in there. Lingard is still in there, who was having a great season last season. He had some good games too. Sancho, you still have Van de Beek in there. I mean, Matic, who can be good, but it's just Pogba getting a red card. I mean, I don't know. As Troy just said, like, why do you buy players like Sancho? Like, you still had Donny there. You knew just Lingard was gonna come back. Then you still have the players you have in Greenwood, who had an amazing season last season, who's actually still playing very well. You have Rashford coming back. Like, why do you need Sancho for? Like, worry about defense first.
Positive said in chat, it's clearly on the coach. Just because Ole is Man United legend, they will keep him around. Look at what Chelsea did since Lampard left. Very good point. We were talking about that before.
The Lampard situation was a little bit different though, because we had that transfer ban and stuff like that. So I guess that was probably the right time to get in a coach like that and give him, you know, give a club legend a bit of experience just at a top flight club. But yeah, I do see what you mean. I do see what you mean there. Positive.
In saying that, well, we've talked a lot about Manchester United, but how good is Liverpool, specifically Mohamed Salah? And I don't know if you guys follow Footy Base on Instagram, but Fiago there, he said the best thing about this game for United is the fact that Liverpool went easy on them and rested themselves towards the end, because they would have scored at least 3 more after Pogba's red. Wow. He said Bayern is an example of a team that wouldn't have done this. They would have just kept going.
True. Sorry. Go ahead.
You go. No, you go.
Oh yeah, Klopp said it after the game. It's like when we were like 4-0 up, the most important thing is just to close out the game without too many injuries. Didn't really work that way, but that, I mean, if a coach after the game says that 4-0 up, like, we don't have to worry about the score anymore. Just like get out of the game without too many injuries. Everything is set. I mean, 4-0 up at Liverpool, at Old Trafford, job done. Go home and get some rest.
I was just going to say, been on fire.
I heard that Salah overtook Drogba for the highest scoring African player in the Premier League now.
Premier League history. True.
Crazy achievement. Good on him. He's elite at the moment, and he's been elite for a long time. But now, even myself, I probably underrated him a little bit. Definitely giving him his flowers now, because he's just been absolutely killing it.
His flowers, I like it. How about his card prices? Have they had any movement?
I haven't checked, to be honest.
I would say no.
I was 30-point action.
People don't care about Benzema, Lewandowski, Salah. It's like they're too old.
They're not 15 and haven't won anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only his second goal. He scored 3 in one game. That's not cool. I mean,
I was actually just a couple days ago, I think before this game, I was going to buy a Salah rookie sticker BGS 9.5, and the guy was asking like $200. I was like, BGS 9.5, $200. Oh my God, I'm gonna buy it. Like, I actually felt bad. I'm exposing myself right here. I messaged him, and then I went because I was like, I need to take this right now. And then I checked comps, and I was like, oh my God, like this is like, it's not even worth that. So then I was like, okay, never mind, sorry. But it just goes to show you, like, I mean, even before, like I bought like De Bruyne, Lewandowski, rookie stickers, some of these guys, and like for whatever reason, the market just doesn't value them, which is shocking to me, really.
I think it reflects who actually runs the market too.
Oh, there we go. Conspiracy theory.
I mean,
no, you're right though. You're right. You're right.
They're not
You're
American.
100%. Yeah.
So there we go. I said it. I said it.
A point that Vincent made like a few weeks ago, Troy. I don't know if you saw it, but I got a few messages about it actually. I got one in particular actually from someone. Yeah, he said the point that Vincent made about sort of simple, like that we overthink it, whereas maybe we need to sort of dumb ourselves down a little bit in order to make money in the market. That was something that stuck with me the last few weeks, Vincent. I'll be honest, it was a great point.
100%, and that's why you guys got me on, right? We need the dumb American perspective. That's how we can get it. No, I'm kidding. It's true though. I've been saying that. Yeah. I've been saying that since the beginning, and like I think we've all been in the market long enough to understand that now. But like when people first get in, especially people who really know the sport, like I've been saying, like I always make the joke about like Busquets, like, oh my God, the way he controlled the field. If you look at his XG he added or some crazy stuff, it's like, listen, man, you're doing way too much. And by the way, you're going to lose. Like you're going to make less money than the kid who just like understands the colors. Like, unfortunately, it's not always like that simple, but I think there's 100% right that like people just overthink it sometimes. Yeah. And it's not, if we are going to like fully dive into like card prices, like it's not equal to soccer performance. That's just, you just have to throw that out the window and kind of like accept that, honestly, if you're trying to make money from it.
It's something we've actually been discussing. That's why I want to focus on this point, and having you on is great for that, because you've got that basketball experience. Because we're coming from watching football first before we got into cards, and it's been really hard to get our heads around how some of the Ballon d'Or winners are, significantly lower than a 18-year-old MLS player, right? It just boggles my mind and almost makes you disillusioned with the card market, in some respects. But I do understand it. I do understand the new shiny thing, like the Bellinghams and the Camavingas that come about, and that comparison to the basketball market, which is very draft driven, and the new shiny players to kind of go for. Is that how you would look at it if you weren't going to look at it on a pure soccer perspective?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I just made a video about it, subtle plug, talking about how,
check it out,
with how the card market is now, like you really need that FOMO. You need that fear of missing out. And before, the FOMO factor was, everyone thought, oh my God, the whole market is going to, Messi BGS, Messi 71 biz is going to be in $1 million card. So that means Iniesta is going to be this. That means basically everything is going to get driven up. So everyone was just buying everything. I think now we're at the point where people kind of understand that's not going to happen, at least maybe not in the short term. Like we're not going to see the $1 million Messi in the next 6 months. So it's the same thing in basketball. Like Kevin Durant, LeBron James price is perfect example. They're completely flat, if not down, at the beginning of the season, where the old school train of thought would be, oh my God, everyone's going to get so excited about basketball. Make sure you buy your Kevin Durant cards. But why? Like, why are you going to buy? What are you going to miss out on? I can buy that a month from now. And unfortunately, with how it is right now, even though I believe guys like Iniesta and these type of guys are undervalued, why do you need to rush out and pay a really strong price for Iniesta right now? I mean, maybe if it's a, PSA 10, it's like a low pop, you might see that little bump, but there's plenty of, a PSA 8 Iniesta, like stuff I've sold is like $200. Like that's really, really cheap. But also at the same time, like people will be able to pay that a week or two from now. So I don't think people feel that need to rush out and buy it. And I think that's why, or on the other hand, going back to it, like, these young guys, you feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss their prices spiking. So you can actually like see that increase there. That's what it is. People feel like they're gonna miss out, and that's like what it takes for card prices to increase, like where we are now in the market.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I can see it. It's like they want to catch the trade. Like they're already too late because he already scoring goals. They should have bought him before he starts scoring goals, and then they see soccer in football. It's short term, right? I mean, a guy can score 5-6 goals in a couple of weeks and then just dry out. Basketball is different. They have an opportunity to score 30-40 points every single night. In soccer, a goal is a rare event. So it's like, how long can he keep that performance? Like, not everyone is Lewandowski or Salah, you know? And then if a young guy scores 1 goal, people are all of a sudden, or 2 goals, all of a sudden like, oh, damn, he's really good. I need to buy him now, which drives up the price. But that's already too late. And if you have enough people like that, well, that's what you see with the Pepe, right? I mean, he scored, 2 goals? All of a sudden, everyone needs him. But he can now go on a dry streak for 10 games. And then the hype dies down again until he scores again, and then it starts all over again. So I feel like that's where we're going, or that's what we're seeing right now. Because that's fine. No one is rushing to buy a Salah card, but some people will probably buy it off the back of what he's been doing. But that's not enough. Like 10 people is not enough to drive the price of every single Mohamed Salah card up. And I think that's different with the NBA because you see action all the time. So maybe that's the explanation.
And sorry, I'm going to butt in one more time, but that's something me and Vincent have talked about for a long time too. Like, honestly, that's just never how the soccer card market has worked outside of the very young guys. And it takes like a big performance from them. Like Vinicius, when he scored those goals in the Champions League, his stuff boomed. But, you know, in basketball, if Curry goes on a little bit of a run, you will see his stuff move. But even like when, you know, Lewandowski, Bayern were winning championships, nothing happened. Nothing happened to his prices with these with these stars. Like, it just doesn't. It's never moved like that. Even when it was really hot, for the most part, like, stuff just didn't move like that. That's not how it's been.
I've got a question for you, because I did see a video that you did post recently. Another subtle plug, but in relation to the World Cup coming up, does that change things?
Well, actually, yeah, I was going to say that. Like, if you're not going with the young guys, and once again, this is all through the frame set, I apologize, of trying to make money, you basically need the soccer card market to move up strongly to increase their prices. And that's just not going to happen in the next 3 to 4 months, in my opinion. Like, I just don't see that happening. The World Cup, it could, though. Like, that's something that really could bring up the market and bring everyone up, really get the excitement going. And yeah, I think that will happen. I mean, it's just a fact. People get really excited about soccer during the World Cup. It's like nothing else. It's a question of how much it'll happen, but that's for sure where my money would be. Like, we really don't see any pop in the market during the World Cup. That would just be very surprising to me.
Yeah, I agree. To add on that as well, I think if America is going to be at the World Cup as well, not just who is on the American team, but maybe other players playing against the American team, and like if they make it to the knockouts and play other teams, then I think that'd be an opportunity there too.
It's an interesting thought. If they make it, then
that was big if.
I actually had this question, I guess, on Instagram. Maybe I should ask you, Troy. What's going to happen if America doesn't make it? Like, what is going to do that? What's going to change? Is that going to change anything on car prices? Let's say America doesn't make the World Cup. Is interest still there for soccer cards then? Or is it going to be like, oh, America isn't there, so people who maybe would have bought into soccer cards is not going to buy into soccer cards just because they didn't qualify?
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, that's just a fact, right? You can look at the World Cup numbers when the U.S. doesn't qualify. It's not even close. It's not even close at all. So yeah, no question. That would be terrible for the soccer card market. It would be really, really terrible. I think that's going to be one of the biggest factors drawing that attention. So I'm hoping FIFA doesn't want to let that happen. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they seriously, do you know how much, like, that's so much money for them to like lose out on? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope we pull it off, but it'll be big for the market if US is in there, and if they're not, then I don't even know how to sum up what my feeling will be for that. Obviously, as an American, just like off the bat, I would be so disappointed. But for the soccer card market, I would just kind of be like, come on. It would just be like pure frustration.
There we go. Positive vibe. Come on, USA.
Well, I mean, they've already increased the teams in the World Cup. If there was any hint
Yeah.
that USA wasn't going to make it, they'll increase it to like 72 or something like that.
You know what we need? We need a World Cup Super League. No more of this qualifying. Let's just put in USA, and then we get like a wild card. We can just choose Holland or something like that. Not Holland, the country, but Erling, but something like that. That's what we need. This qualification, man, it's just too much.
Yeah, there's got to be a way that Haaland can make a transfer. His, Norway team isn't performing well. He should be able to get a trade and move to France or something like that.
Well, it's funny. I actually know this because in basketball, for the national teams, they have like eligibility rules, and you have to have your passport. It's much more strict than soccer. Actually, you have to have your passport for the country before you're 16, unless FIBA makes a ruling that you switching to a country would be good for the growth of basketball internationally. And I think Holland switching to another country would be great for the growth of soccer. Let's send them to America. That'd be perfect for the growth of soccer. I think that's what we need to do.
Isn't that what Laporte did?
He
switched from France to Spain, right? Laporte.
But did he play a national like a men's game?
Yeah,
because I know you can play youth games, but as soon as you play for the national team, the men's national team, you're done. That's what I've heard. Well, it wasn't a good result for him, given that that they lost.
I'll come back to that. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay,
cool. We'll keep powering through these leagues quickly because there's some really good discussion to be had. So we've got Serie A, which is, in my opinion, the second best league in the world. That's why we always talk about that second, since I'm dictating proceedings. Torino 3 over Genoa. Sampdoria 2-1 over Spezia. Let's keep going through. Sassuolo 3-1 over Venezia. Venezia's been performing very well, but didn't get it done there. Milan, Bologna. This was a very, very good match, even though scoreline doesn't really show that, but it was really back and forth. Fantastic advertisement for Serie A. Lazio lost against Verona, which is very surprising, but they've been very shaky recently. And Diego Simeone's son scored 4 goals in this game.
Wow,
Is it his son? Is it? Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Giovanni Simeone. He's been a bit of a journeyman in Serie A. He's been playing for pretty much all the teams, but mainly he came up big on that game there. 3-0 Fiorentina over Cagliari. My boy Vlahovic, who is very, very sought after, and I've talked about him quite a few times on this channel. If you're looking for a striker that's got a lot of promise, he's young, he's big like Haaland, and has a high ceiling, Vlahovic is your man. But at the moment, he has decided not to proceed with a new contract with Fiorentina. So looks like he is on the move, and he's going to get a move of a big club. I think that there are Premier League clubs that are looking for him. They're talking about Newcastle. They're talking about big things for him. So definitely keep an eye out.
I was going to say, as you were talking, I was just going to say, is he going to stay in Italy, or is he going to? Because you see some players come from the Serie A and sort of stay there. Do you think he will move abroad?
Look, I would love to, but I just don't think that Serie A, the way that it is right now, would be able to afford the transfer fees for a player like that. I think it'll be quite significant, in excess of 60 to 70 million.
How old is he?
I would love to. He's 21, I believe.
Oh, God. It's going to be in excess of 60, I reckon.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a hell of a lot. Now, Juventus probably need him the most, so I would love to have him because Morata just isn't doing it, and neither is Moise Kean. But I don't believe it's going to happen. I hope so, but I think that he'll get a move abroad. I think.
Yeah.
Another big game was Roma Napoli, which was a bit of a cagey game. I don't know if you caught it, Luke, but Jose Mourinho got a red card in this one.
I did hear that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't get to watch this, unfortunately. I just saw the score, and I'll still take the result. We're still undefeated in the league, so still going to take that. I think did Mertens come off the bench?
Let me check.
I believe he's back now.
Looks like, yeah, Mertens there.
Yeah, so it's good to see him back. But yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that away from home.
Now, I did watch a little bit of it, and even though he didn't score, Osimhen in this game is just another beast. Talk about big strikers in these leagues that people aren't paying attention to. He's just incredible. He's so big, and you just don't expect him to close down space. Like I've been watching Lukaku for so long, and obviously he's huge, but not that fast. It's incredible how fast Osimhen is, and
the pace for his size is ridiculous.
It's a joke, and he just bullies defenders. It's incredible.
I love it.
I bet
you love it, mate. Because you own about 90% of his cards and stickers. Now, Inter Milan, Juventus, the game that I watched this morning in lieu of the Formula One. Juventus lucky to get a win in this game. It was really cagey. Not really much to say in this game, which is supposed to be the Derby della Madonna, but unfortunately didn't really live up to the hype. It was a very, very jammy goal by Dzeko and a penalty that we probably shouldn't have gotten there in the 89th minute. But look, I'll take it. Yeah.
Could we just look at the table as well?
Absolutely. So Napoli and Milan both on 25 points. Which is great to see a bit of a battle.
Already a 10-point gap for Juventus. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's interesting to see how little goals we've conceded this season, though. Like we talked about, I think it was last week, like 3 compared to 9, 12, 9, 11, 11. Maybe it's because we haven't played some of the other big teams. Like we haven't played Inter yet. We just played Roma. Haven't played Milan yet. Atalanta. Don't think we played Atalanta yet. Played Juventus.
But still, you still have to keep goals out. I mean, you can
yeah.
You can also win 4-2 every week.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Look at those boys over in France.
Well, speaking about France, thanks for the little segue. Laporte, he was actually in the selection of France 6 times, but the 2 games he was actually allowed to play, he got an injury. So he was included in the selection 6 times, got injured in 2, didn't come off the bench in 3, and wasn't included in the selection against Luxembourg. So he has 0 minutes for France. But he was included though.
So you can be selected in the team. You can even be on the bench, but as long as you don't cross the line onto the field.
I guess so.
Wow. That's interesting. That's all it could have taken to keep him. So
go Napoli. Positive, sending those positive vibes.
But I do think they did slightly change the rules, I know, and are making exceptions because like a lot of those big countries really were calling up these dual nationals just to secure them and giving them like 1 minute. I think it was Munir because he was a Barcelona guy. He's Spain and Morocco dual nationality, and he got called up for Spain when he was like 18 for no reason and played like 10 minutes. And I guess FIFA smartly actually for once realized it's like, okay, this isn't good for football for us to like just have these big countries like basically just trying to trap these young players for no reason because he's never going to play for Spain again. So why would you stop him from representing another country?
Yeah. That's good.
Move over to La Liga and the big game here.
Wait, before we start, Troy, what would you say is the second best league in the world? We're all going to assume that your number 1 is the Premier League. What's your second best league in the world? I'm putting him on the spot, but
that's a tough one. I guess I don't know. La Liga. Right now, I guess I would say the Bundesliga, if you're putting me on the spot. I mean, that's
Bundesliga.
how I feel about it. I mean, you got Bayern in there, so that alone should drag the other teams up, right?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What were your guys' answers, just out of curiosity?
Mine was Serie A. I think Dan's was Serie A as well. Vincent, you Serie A? I can't remember now.
Yeah, if I had to choose,
Yeah.
but it's hard because you have, as Troy said, I love Bayern Munich, so I'm punishing Bayern Munich by not saying Bundesliga, but I mean they're the only team I think are getting there. So
Yeah.
but purely if I have to be on, I would say look at how many teams they have that play internationally. Well, like Champions League, Europa League. It's a nice competition to watch. So I would say Serie A, but I feel for the Bayern Munich because I love them.
No, I think the Bundesliga is close, to be honest. Bayern definitely brings them up, but then those other teams around the mark as well. You know, Dortmund, as much as we're saying they're bad this season, like they're
true.
They're still decent. Even Wolfsburg, like
Leipzig.
there. Leipzig as well, yeah. Even
Leverkusen
has some,
They have
So
some
there's
solid
teams in there.
solid midfield teams. I've been watching too much F1, but yeah, the midfield is solid.
I love it. And I guess as a criteria that you go off, is it the top few teams and what their success is in Europe, or is it based on how competitive the mid to low table teams are? But who I would go with, Barcelona, Real Madrid. And I'll kind of let you take this, Troy. I don't know if you watch this game, but maybe you can talk to Barcelona as a whole and where they are at the moment and what the potential is going forward with Koeman at the helm. They got the loss today, 2-1 loss with Real Madrid getting the victory.
Yeah, I mean, tough miss by Dest, especially,
I saw that one. I saw that. Jesus.
The mini American dream, I'll call him. That's tough. That double broke my heart. I mean, I guess I feel like I'm actually not too far apart from other Barcelona fans. It's like we have no expectations. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like we're not expecting anything. We've just accepted that we're in shambles. Rough for Koeman. I don't know if you guys saw that video. If he was like getting like attacked leaving the stadium. So that's a tough look. I mean, honestly, how my mindset is like I kind of like being the underdog in a sense. I've always, why I fell in love with I feel like at least new fans, a lot of them is like Messi, right? Why I fell in love with Barcelona was because of their academy. And actually a lot of it too was like playing FIFA growing up. It was like FIFA 10 and Barcelona B was in the game. I was like, oh my God, they have so much talent. Even their B team was in the second division at the time. So I guess just like I'm happy that the youth is getting a chance to play. Obviously, we're not getting the results, but I don't know. I mean, obviously it hurts seeing your team lose, but like it was kind of to be expected. This was always going to be a rough season. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Gavi? He's probably going to be one of the ones to collect in any new product coming out, and I just find him incredible.
100%, very exciting, and like I said, I think it just speaks to the talent that's coming. I know Pedri wasn't out of the academy, but it was like Fati, then Pedri, then Gavi. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm weird in that sense. I've always, like, it sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but like I just love seeing youngsters excel in basketball and soccer. Like that's as a fan, that's one of my favorite things. Like that's the most exciting period of a team, 100%, because there's so much unknown, so much potential. So I like the fact that these guys are getting a chance to shine. Where if we were a more competitive team, I don't think it's up for debate that they just wouldn't be getting the same opportunities that they are, and you wouldn't progress the same. You need that game time, So, I'm excited. I'm excited to do some collecting soon and see these Barcelona guys coming out in the new products. That'll be fun.
It's an interesting thing.
Like the analysis.
Yeah, when Juventus went down to Serie B, that happened as well. You focus on youth, and it actually improves you.
Yeah, because otherwise, as Troy said, these guys want to have the chance to play, and then they get loaned out to everywhere and nowhere, and then you don't know you're going to see them back, how they're progressing, and now they basically have no chance but to use them. They brought in some very old ones like Luc de Jong, and you have Aguero in there. But I mean, look at that right side. Mingueza, Gavi, Dist, you have Fati up top. So you have to play them. You have to use them. So getting a lot of game time is very important. Look at Pedri. So yeah, it's I also just noticed the Real Madrid lineup is very like they just want to get a result in here. That was their only goal. Like get a result. Like if you look at the lineup, no Hazard, who was half injured. He's always half injured. I don't know. Camavinga didn't play. They kept Marcelo on the bench. Then they swapped out Vinicius for Asensio, Rodrigo for Valverde. So it was like this lineup has only one objective, was just to win this game. Doesn't matter how, when, it was just to win this game, and they did it. So,
Yeah.
And I still think that that Barcelona did a great job, only losing 1-2 with right side like completely youngster, and then it was still Busquets in there, Piqué in there. I think it's not too bad of a result, losing only 1-2. Seeing how they've been playing in the last couple of weeks.
I remember how we were talking about Dest last week moving up to the wing. I wonder if that's going to be something we see more frequently now.
He did give an assist to the Aguero goal, so
Yeah.
it's interesting to see that he also keeps it up for like 97 minutes because the goal was 97 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So he's been doing it all game, and then able to, because he really literally did a one-on-one. He got past him, crossed it, and he scored a goal. So he's been doing it for 97 minutes. Okay, he's young, but you still have to do it until the last minute. So that's a positive, I guess, for Dest.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll power through the last few results because we want to actually talk about cards at some point on this channel. So Dortmund 3-1 over Arminia. Now, probably a case for the poor defending in the Bundesliga would be Bellingham's goal. I don't know if you guys saw that, and everyone was going crazy about it. But all I saw was the defense splitting like the Nile. You know, it was just incredible. But he did show a bit of pace and pull through between two players and got the goal. So that was good to see for him and his card prices. But they got the victory. Obviously, Dortmund, Haaland wasn't playing in this one. So
have you seen their injury list?
No,
bro, it doesn't even fit the screen.
Really?
So you have Dahoud, Guerrero, Haaland, Meunier, Buza, Mukoku, Reina, Schmelzer, and Schultz. That's their injury list.
Jeez.
So basically, half of their team is out injured.
Jeez.
Like look at the center back, like Pongracic. Never heard of him.
Who is that?
Wolf, and the rest is okay. But yeah, there's a lot of injured players.
And I do have to say one thing too. What a shame that Jude Bellingham's cards are printed like they are. Because I would love to pick up some nice Jude Bellingham, but it's not even just the print run. It's honestly overwhelming. Like I can't be asked to, like, you got to sit down and do all the research and sort through the horse scale parallel and all that stuff. It's just a lot. It's really tough. Like once again, I apologize, from a financial perspective. It's like I can't even bring myself to hardly touch any of these guys because of how many cards they have out there. I think Bellingham is such a talent, but it's just like those print runs just scare me.
The funny thing as well is I found with the newer guys, especially in this year's sets, the difference between how much a numbered card is and what a base card's worth. Like the difference is just massive. Like we were saying last week, like either something's really expensive or it's really cheap.
Yeah,
I can't remember if it was on this show or it was on.
Yeah.
It was this show, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said it.
Yeah.
That's why you know.
Really cheap or really expensive.
Yeah, but you're right. It's either you're spending $50K on some number low thing, or you spend $5.50 on the base. It's like it feels like there's no in between.
And
so that's a good topic. That's a good topic to pick up on. If you were collecting a Bellingham, what set would you go for? What would be the card you're looking for?
For Bellingham, I believe
Top scorer in Bundesliga, maybe.
Yeah, top scorer in Bundesliga would be the one I go after. Try to get a a nice parallel of him. The tough thing is though, is because I was thinking, because there's a couple guys I was thinking in my head, I was like, I'm gonna butcher his name, but like Adeyemi, the kid from Salzburg, he popped off, and yeah, the print run is high, but he's not in every single product. You know, like Bellingham is in every single product. True. So I'm sure the Bundesliga will do well, but it's just like it kind of like, I think the thing, like I said, once again, the FOMO, if you have a nice Jude Bellingham Topps Chrome Bundesliga card and you have it priced at a certain point, someone will just say, okay, screw you, I'm gonna go get a Topps Chrome Champions League then. I'm gonna get a Topps now, I'm gonna get Merlin, I'm gonna get this. Like, there's just no need, because there's way too much out there. And even within the set, right, it's like there's literally like out of 85, out of 95, out of 75, out of 65, out of 55, 45, 35, 25, 15. So there's always somewhere else for you to go. So that just kind of scares me away from buying them. Then obviously you have the whole PSA issue, and Topps like screwed up the printing. So even if you buy them raw, it's like hard to get them graded. So unfortunately, there's just like a lot of factors going against me picking up like a Bellingham right now, even though I want to.
It's interesting. I run a break group, Carnival Hobby Breaks. Go check that out, guys.
Yes.
And we pulled an Inception Bellingham auto out of that one here, the rookie card. That was just a beautiful looking card, and I think that's maybe a premium set. And I think maybe long term they will gravitate towards the premium set if it's not the Bundesliga. Not too sure though. It's very interesting, and we were talking about Topps having product for days. I can't remember how many sets, Vincent. But it was
40,
wild.
40 something, wasn't it?
It was 40-ish in the last 2 seasons or something. It's just, I don't know. It was a lot.
I will say too. Oh, I'm sorry. I will say too. I wouldn't be surprised to see a set, like you said, like Inception, just like a random card like that, actually become something desirable. Because, like we say a million times, the soccer card market is so new. I'm a big believer in Topps Chrome Champions League. Like, even though the Bundesliga came out before, if this Topps Chrome Champions League just starts continuing forever, which I think it will be, and maybe Bundesliga takes a year off or they lose the license, it's like, oh, all of a sudden, should we actually want the Bellingham Topps Chrome Champions League? Or even something like, there's some really cool cards in like Museum that are early for some of these guys, and no one seems to pay attention. So I think like that stuff could change. You know what I mean? It's not, there's not really, that's the other tough part too. Like I'm saying, it's like, you don't really necessarily know which one to buy. You know, it may change over time just based on what people like or how products continue.
Yeah.
There's 2 points on that. I'm one that's definitely come around to Museum more recently. When it came out, I didn't really like it that much, but when I realized that some of the, there's rookie patch autos in there, some players like Kamavinga and Trincao and stuff like that, I was like, wow, this is actually like a decent product. And I've sort of come around to the design as well, because that was the main reason I didn't like it, because of the design. I've sort of come around to that now though. But it was actually perfect segue from what you were just saying there. Do you think because the market's so young, like compared to NBA, for example, that collecting NBA cards has been around for so long that people sort of
I was about to say, for how much longer we're going to say the market is still young? Like, it's been 2 years now, no?
It is young, though.
But how long's NBA been collected for? Like 30, 40, 50, 60 years?
Yeah,
so
sure.
It's a little bit different.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just saying, sort of threw me off.
You killed him. You killed him.
Yeah, I was just saying, do you think we'll sort of see, like in basketball, the market will sort of tear itself out? So to be like, say, for example, Museum, because it's a high-end product, and Topps Chrome / Sapphire, which would be like your Prism, for example. Do you think we'll eventually see that? What do you guys reckon?
I think a lot depends on how the licenses shake out as well. That's the interesting thing. Like, it's going to be hard because NBA has that continuity because it's just one league. Yeah. You know, I don't know what the big factor as well. I don't know if you guys talked about this that much, but with Fanatics taking all the American sports, Topps and Panini, it's going to be like a war for, F1, these other ones, but especially soccer. I think that'll really be where they're looking to go. So I think that will actually change a lot. It depends on what products they're going to continue and which ones they aren't. But I've said for a while, I think Topps Chrome Champions League is going to be that one that just continues and just keeps getting produced every year. That and Prism World Cup, I think, will always be desirable because they're going to have that continuity. And then everything else underneath, I'm not even sure it's worth time guessing just because it changes every year. You know what I mean? Like they could just stop Museum next year and we just wouldn't know.
Yeah, even Finest, for example. Inception being a basically new set for soccer as well. We don't know sort of how that's going to go. Even though it was well perceived this year, who knows what's going to happen next season with it. So it's definitely interesting.
And the biggest thing is also the Topps Now cards. Like, you have no idea how many of them they're going to print in one season for one player. It's like, and which one do you buy? Like, you have 6-7 Mukoko cards. Like, which one do you pick? It's the first one? Is it the one with the best description? Like, he sets one step on the pitch and he has a Topps Now card. Is that the one you go for? Or is it like becoming the youngest goal scorer? Like, where do you go? And another big thing is Prism still going to be that number one thing in the next 5 years if the market matures and the more Europeans come in? Is Prism still going to be the main one? Who knows?
It's a perfect segue there, Vincent.
Yeah, you know what?
Gotcha.
Let's jumble up the order of things. We'll get to the
was that not in
players
order?
that we are looking at.
Oh, shit.
Mate, doesn't matter. Let's segue to it right now.
It just worked too well. It was almost like it was planned.
I love it. So last week we did have a fairly in-depth discussion about what's it? Was it the Prism 2016? Was it?
2014.
14. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't get the number out. 2014 Prism.
$8,000 box.
$8,000 box, and we're talking about that and the significance of that set and how much it would hold up. Vincent ran a poll on that very question, thoughts of 2014 Prism long term, and I've got them right here for everyone to see. And what are the thoughts, Vincent, of these answers as I go through them slowly for people to watch it?
I think it instantly shows people that are not from the States have a different view than people actually in the States, or maybe that's too clear cut. Maybe it's also people who have an incentive for that set to do well. Obviously, one would say that it's a good set to collect, but it's mixed. I mean, I have a different view than some of the people there. Like, someone says it's iconic, the other one says it's overhyped like Pulisic. So then you have someone who says it's the truth, and then you have I like the comment. The low supply pop is a reflection of where the hobby was 7 years ago. Because if that set was printed now, it would have been a lot higher. So I kind of like this answer. But then you have someone who says it's stupid. Everyone likes 2014 Prism instead of rookie stickers from 10 years before. And I also agree. That's basically where I'm at. Like, I understand it's first year of Prism, but what does that mean, first year of Prism? For non-Americans, it's like, whatever. It's a 12-year card. It's a 10-year card. Like, who cares about that? So it's a nice mix between, we rate it and we don't really care. So I'm not interested at 8K, that's for sure. So you have someone who doesn't like it at 8K.
I forgot to even put that in there.
I know.
I forgot to even put that comment in there.
And you know what? This is actually very good that Pedro's here, because I believe he was the one who wrote one of the comments about Prism.
Big comment on the YouTube. Yeah, it was really good.
So I'd love to get your thoughts live and we can respond to it. But
and then you have Mitch from London. It says, never understood the level of hype. Went too far. It's now the poster boy for being careful with your money. And I also agree. That was me. I never understood it. I understood the fact that it was hype and you could make money off it, but purely from a football soccer history, I never understood it. Why would I want to buy a 12-year card of Ronaldo and Messi in a World Cup where Messi reached the final of Lust and Ronaldo didn't even make it out of the group stages? Why would I pay at 4.5K for a card like that? While you have, at that time, you could have bought a rookie, like 2 or 3 rookies for the same price. True rookies. So it's like I never quite understood it. But again, sometimes you don't need to understand the market. You just have to go with it, and you can make money if you jump off the ship at the right time. Because otherwise, you're gonna get burned. A lot of people lost a lot of money with that Prism stuff, trying to catch the top or thinking it will continue to go up, and then it dropped like a ton of bricks. I mean, a Messi Messi PSA 10 is now what, $300? Was four and a half K at one point. Imagine buying 10 of those for 4.5K, thinking they go to 7.5, and all of a sudden they're 300.
Yeah. God, that's scary.
That's painful.
That's scary.
That's painful. Yeah.
That's scary.
I'd love to get Troy's thoughts on this, but we'll focus on Pedro's comment just for now. Pitch at 93, top's finest for basketball, 92 finest baseball, 2014 Prism is the equivalent for soccer. And I guess
he was saying the first Chromium, I believe. It was his comment before that.
There you go. First. I don't think it's first year Prism over first Chromium. Okay. What are your thoughts, Troy?
What are my thoughts? Well, first I'll say that I'm a believer in 2014 Prism, especially not the base. I don't think it's not up for debate. It got way too hyped. That's not even a question. So we can't really compare it to that. I've personally been buying a ton of the silver Prisms already graded, because I just think it's gotten too cheap. Xavi, Van Persie, Drogba, Eto'o, these legends.
I was watching a few of those Van Persie silvers.
Yeah, $49.
Yeah.
I just, you know what I mean? Like poster boy for losing your money. I didn't read the guy's full. What's going to happen at that point? I think those in particular are just something I really, really believe in. They're literally pop 3, pop 4. And I guess the question I would ask too is, I got an Aguero PSA 10 Prism. So that's a perfect example. If you're like serial numbered ones are good. If you're like an Aguero collector or, a Drogba collector, that's a good example too. Like, I think his are a little bit easier, but if you're not getting their rookie sticker, or let's say you're an American and that doesn't even appeal to you to get a sticker, what card are you going to get? Like for me, I can only speak for myself, but someone I like to collect, like Landon Donovan, someone like that purely for PC. I picked up his blue Prism 2014. That was a card that really appealed to me outside of getting his true rookie. Like that's the one I want too. And wow, me and Pedro are speaking the same language. 2017 Topps Chrome. I'm sorry, I'm jumping a little bit all over the place. That's another one I believe in. But I think these first sets, they have significance. They have in other sports, and I think they will for soccer.
I think I found a listing for you, $80 US for a lot of Didier Drogba. So he's of 149, he's of 199. That seems like a pretty good price,
right? I mean, that's $10 a pop for a legend right there. I've just been, weighing the risk. I just think that's worth a shot. Why not? That seems worth it to me.
But to be devil's advocate and to bring up Vincent's point, that's his how many years card, that's not his true rookie. What significance does this play? What significance does Prism play? Is it the American appeal for it?
Well, I guess it just goes back to the same question. Like if you're a Drogba or an Aguero collector, what you probably want their rookie, right? But it's hard to find. Even I'll take someone like Neymar. Like I know for a fact his true rookie stickers are really, really hard to find. Yeah, like they're just not even up on eBay. If you want to collect Neymar, what card would you go for then? Like I'm actually asking, like if you're
second tier, third tier.
That's one from 24. That's one from 2014. Yeah, makes sense for me though. The Neymar.
Yeah.
One. But some of the other ones, like if it's his first World Cup, like even Mbappe 2018 Prism, that makes some more sense. Being his first World Cup, like for Drogba, for example, I'd probably pick up 2006 World Cup before I picked up a 2014 Prism. That's just me personally. I don't know.
I think also you got to take into account the rarity is actually also a big factor as well. Because at the end of the day, a big part of card collecting is is flexing, right? If we want to look at it from a flexing perspective, if you have a 30-year Drogba card, you're not flexing on anyone. But as dumb as it may seem to some people here, if you have a gold, imagine a gold Prism 2014 Drogba. I mean, like I said, maybe I'm just the American, but like that just sounds awesome to me. I would
10,
love to have that card.
I think they added 10.
Out of 10. Like that would just be great to have. So yeah, the condition rarity as well. I just think it's going to be something very desirable for collectors, because also it's the first set that has that. You know, if I'm not mistaken, like, okay, you can buy a 2006, that's cool, but sorry, I apologize. I speak from my own experience too much, but like I collect Messi and Ronaldo, and I sold my 2006 World Cup ones, and I was thinking of picking them up again, but it was that same thing, that FOMO. I was just like, I'll pick it up later. I'll see another one. There's so many. They keep being graded by PSA. There's going to be like 5,000 of those Messi and Ronaldo. But if I saw a 2014, you know, gold Ronaldo, or even, you know, I saw a nice color match red one, I'm like, oh my God, I have to get it. Like, I really want this in my collection. Yeah. So I think there's something to be said for that. But I just think like that rarity kind of like tugs at people a little bit where it just wasn't present at all in sets before that.
Makes sense, especially the color match. The color match, I like that because they look really good. Especially from a visual, if you want to display it or something like that, a color match card, it looks so good for for your newer sets.
Yeah, and also last thing, speaking of sets, we've seen in every other sport, even in you want to talk about like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, like that continuity matters to people. And I can almost guarantee you, like Prism, if I had to bet on any two sets being around, it's Topps Chrome Champions League and Prism World Cup, and that matters to people. So when it's whatever years down, even, you know, a couple years down the line, people are going to look back and go like, oh, Prism World Cup, boom, I know it, gold, I know it, boom, I want it. And I think that another thing I almost know for a fact, there will be a lot of hype around the next Prism World Cup set, and that will cause people to appreciate, because those prices can only go so high before people are like, wait a second, 2014 World Cup, look at how cheap this is. So that's something I would consider as well. I think you'll see how it tugs at people's heartstrings. If we see an Ansu Fati Prism, we see an Erling Haaland Prism in those national team sets, people will really want those cards.
Especially the Haaland one, because all these other products are in a Topps card.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, these prices are still way too high for me, but yeah, true.
I like that point of the sets. I like the point of the sets because the 2006 set, you're pretty much guaranteed a Messi or Ronaldo. I think that there's a 90% chance of getting one of them, and I think there's like a 60% chance of getting both.
Yeah.
And even then, like, you know, you're not getting any parallels or anything like that. So you just pretty much getting like the base. It's not like they're in silver for or anything. It makes sense. It does make sense. I like it. Yeah. I like it. I'm scared.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I think people want to flex on each other a lot. Like that's a lot of what card collectors do, and I think Prism is a great opportunity to do that. So I don't know, and also just the fact that I don't know. Like I said, like I like Aguero. Like I picked up his Topps Chrome and then his Prism. Besides his rookie, just the other stuff I guess wouldn't appeal to me that much. Maybe in Vincent, like just difference of opinion. I would much rather have the Prism than a third year card. Just for me though. But I do think that there is, especially Americans, who would feel the same way. Where, there it is, Mbappe going crazy. Another thing to consider.
Too good a transition. Not to go to it.
The last thing I have to get in there too, a little market data point. If we're agreeing, Tom Brady and LeBron James, their top sets, like a Prism, even a Prism, or Tom's Brady, a better example. He has a Topps Chrome from every single year, but a Topps Chrome 2012 Brady gold, that's like an 100K card in a PSA 10, just because it has that content. People don't care, or at least the market doesn't care that that's a 10th year card or whatever. So I think it will be the same case in soccer eventually if things really heat up.
I like it. Now, last week you took we took a bit of a health check on the market, and it kind of felt like we're going through a flat period. But this could be a sign that things are on the uptick, at least at the very ultra high end card. So we've got the Goldin auction results recently, particularly the record-breaking Mbappe Gold Prism 8.5, Beckett 8.5 went for $161,130. Incredible stuff.
I don't understand this, man.
It's
Please explain to me. It's an 8.5 BGS as all the FUD with the fake stuff, and someone pays 161K for it. Like, why? 8.5. It's okay. It's the thing he won the World Cup. Yeah, I get it. But 161,000.
This year it plays very well into choice points, and I'm gonna try, because like every time I hear a different point, I'll have to try use it, and it's definitely something I'm gonna try use going forward. Like, think about this, it plays perfectly. It's the numbered car. It's numbered first prism. Won the World Cup that year. It's his first World Cup as well. So this makes it makes some sort of sense. At 161, I'm not buying it personally, but I do see how Troy's points there correlate into this.
Sometimes I wonder if it's actually legit. I mean, 161. Come on, man. Come on. I don't know. There's a lot of people with a lot of money. I understand that, but
how much? Like,
I don't see it.
How many more achievements are baked into that price there of 161,000?
I mean, 3 Ballon d'Ors, 4, 5. Oh, not at the World Cup.
What's a Ronaldo mega cracks worth? This is an 8.5 as well, so it doesn't even make sense.
Again, and it's BGS.
And I know for a fact a BGS here I got the data ready. BGS 8.5 Ronaldo mega cracks just went for 12K. I'm pretty confident on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're paying 15 times more for a guy who won 1 World Cup. It's more than Ronaldo, but still, he's not gonna score the goals. He's not gonna win the Ballon d'Ors. At least not the same amount, I would say.
He's still,
I think,
not won the same amount of Champions Leagues as well.
No, I mean, I don't know.
I think once again it does. I have to. It comes back a little bit to the FOMO, because what are these numbered out of 10? Right? I don't think it's
10,
a full 50, is it? Yeah, out of 10. Yeah.
Hold on, just to cut you off. Sorry, I just saw an interesting comment. I thought I might share it. Pedro was saying could be fractional.
Could be fractional. Yeah,
could be.
True.
But
you're right.
But, I was saying with the Ronaldo, you will see it again. Like, you will always. It is a rare card, but you will always have an opportunity to buy a Ronaldo Mega Cracks rookie. Where are you going to find another one? It's not available right now. I'm sure whoever has it is holding it. So it was just a case where two people. It could just be 2 people who decided they really wanted it, and they just started pushing it up. Like, that happens.
We get so many prism cards you're gonna get from him, and there's also gonna be 1 of 10. I don't know. For Ronaldo, it's more true scarcity. This is created scarcity, and I just don't get the appeal for create scarcity. Maybe I think it's a cheap way to make something scarce. Just put 1 of 10, 1 of 25, and put it in every set. I don't know. It's just me, not me liking the prism stuff probably, but I don't know. I do get it. It's 1 of 10, and it looks nice too, with the blue of his shirt. He won the World Cup, but still, it's like there's so many better or more sensible things to buy with that kind of money. But then again, I think we talked about this a lot of times when we did the podcast. Like, you only need 1 true guy who loves Mbappe, and he needs that card. He wants it. He sees it online, and he has the money, so he spends it, and he has it. Or it can be fractional.
Yeah, but this got bid up, right? Like, if he had the opportunity to pay $10 for it, there's going to be multiple people bidding this up.
Yeah, 161. I don't know. It's a lot of money. But again, maybe two friends that put some money together, or like a company, some crypto rich dudes. Like, a lot of people made a lot of money in the last couple of years with the COVID, with the pandemic. So
To put this next to his Bored Apes, maybe.
Well, I was about to say, like, NFTs, like, that's the perfect example right there. That is literally purely nothing but flexing, and I want to have this because it's the best one, and I'm willing to pay more, so you can't have it, and I'm the only one who has it.
Yeah, true.
You know, like, that's and I haven't bought any yet, but a lot of my friends are big into it, and I've been kind of trying to understand it more, how people would want to do it. And like, one of the analogies that made sense to me is like, imagine how much people pay for a Gucci logo or a car. Like, yeah, you can argue people actually like driving it, but a lot of it is just, it's just a flex at the end of the day. Like, if there's something, these rich guys, like, they have nothing better to do. It's like they decided they wanted this card, and that's what drags it up.
Especially if you compare it to like designer goods as well. How many of that same Gucci bag, we'll say, for example, how many of the same Gucci bag are made, and everyone has the exact same? Like, only 10 people of this, only 10 people can own this. Only, NFTs that are one of one, like, everything's like one of one, basically. Only one person can own that NFT. Just something to compare that.
It happened to me recently with the Zaniolo Pitch Kings PSA 10. Man, it's a pop one, and I just couldn't let that go. You know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't have that opportunity and let it pass me by, and then he becomes a fantastic player in the future, and I just have let the pop one PSA 10 rookie card of his go, and I had to get it. It just it was something innate in me. I don't know. So it does speak to the created scarcity or whatever we like. Like Pedro said, it's created scarcity, but it's still scarcity.
Yeah.
And you've got to flex. I do understand that. I get it. But to Vincent's maybe joy, there was a little bit of movement in the vintage market. And we'll start off with this baby here, which was Lionel Messi's new Old Boys ID card. I don't know who had this card. I don't know. It's like that guy who was selling his tissue from the day he left Barcelona. But this went for 181,200 at Goldin.
You want to hear something funny too? I'll bet any amount of money the person who had this was like the janitor or the guy who like cleaned up like the lot. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, oh, they just left that around, and you know what I mean? Because if it was like excuse me, I don't mean to talk bad on janitors, but if it was like a head of the club or an important person, this would be in like this would have already been out there. So I feel like it was just someone who just like collected it or something like that. That's my bold prediction right there.
It's a little bit creepy, I must admit. It's a little bit creepy. How old is he there? Like, someone's keeping this. I mean, Jesus.
Now that's
he's a very young kid.
Yeah, it's a nice collectible though. It's a nice collectible. Like, if you're a Messi collector, you have his shirt, you have a card, you have maybe a first ticket, and now you have this. Like, it's something different, but it's nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Messi. A lot of his stuff gets kept for his museum. Or is that Ronaldo?
I think it's Ronaldo, no?
Like I can't remember now. I don't know. It's one of them. It's one of the two.
It sounds more like Ronaldo.
Yeah, no, it
does. And wait, actually, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to bring it back for just 1 second. I see Pedro's comment right there about Vincent's viewpoint, talking about the European market. Yeah. Frugality. I was actually going to say this even before he commented it. I don't think we can relate because we're logical people. We like to look at the market, and we do this podcast because we like thinking about things. And no one here strikes me as a particularly big flexer. That's just not how we operate. But I think you'd be surprised at the amount of people who just don't think like that. It's like, I have to have it. I have to have it. So even though it's the same thing, like NFTs are so dumb. Like, I'm sorry, I would never pay that amount of money for a picture of an ape. But the fact is that there's people who will. Like, they're real people. It's not fake. It's not just, money laundering. There's legitimately people who are like, I want to have that picture of that ape, and then they'll pay whatever money it will be. And that's the same thing with Mbappe. Sorry, I had it back to the Messi thing.
So I need to jump into the Prism hype train.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like I said, you millionaires. Let's let's buy one big Prism card and one ape, Vincent. And we'll split it, and then we'll fly to the World Cup. We'll fly to the next World Cup off our profits.
There we go. There we go.
Here's a good one, Vincent. Some hope for the vintage market yet. 107,000.
That's a big one. It's a PSA 8, man. That's the Parilex is the graph card if you don't count his little pin, because he has a little pin. It's not really a card or a sticker. But having this in a PSA 8, that's insane. It's 1968. Like, people kept it for that long in that good of a condition. It's crazy.
As I said, it looks like it's in one of the new slabs as well. So this must have been great. This must have been great.
Yeah,
recently.
very recently.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And the thing is with all this vintage stuff, you normally collected it to put in albums. The fact that you didn't put in an album, like someone really kept it aside for that long. So otherwise, it would be a 1, 2, or an A, like authenticated.
Yeah.
So this was really kept in a binder in a folder with like. It's crazy. It's a beautiful one too.
Tell you what, the guy who had this in 1968 was actually living in 2021.
Yeah,
living in the future.
He saw it.
Well, that goes back to your point around created scarcity versus actual scarcity. That's what this is, and this is probably a player that deserves this type of price. He changed football with the way that he played. It was incredible.
Yeah, some people argue he's in top 3 best players ever. Like, I wouldn't say top 3, maybe top 5, but he was very influential. People still call it the Cruyff turn. He was big for Barcelona, Ajax. I mean, he's a player that everyone knows without even watching him. Like, you have legends that people don't really know because they didn't watch him play, but everyone knows Cruyff, or I guess I have heard of him. So still chingy. That I think is cheap. If I had the money, I would pay that in an instant.
And once again, it goes both ways though. If whoever wanted this, if they didn't buy this one, I'm not sure you'll ever see a PSA 8 again, especially of a card this old, or at least not for a long time. So if you want it, you got to pay up for it.
I do think they misspelled his name though on the slab. Is that the first letter, a G?
Nah, on the back. No, on the back it's actually what it says.
Interesting.
We had a look at this the other day.
Oh, okay. It looks like a G.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. But actually, on the stick, is it a sticker? It's a sticker, yeah.
It does look like a G.
No, it's on the back of the sticker. It's got a G. There's a G on the back.
It's a misprint.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. It's interesting.
Yeah. That's what we said as well when we had it up, because we looked at this on Crunch Time a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And we flipped it over, and it actually had a G on the back.
Yeah, that's
misspelled. We'll laugh and say, PSA fucked up and all that, but no, they're actually all right.
It's misspelled.
And, the Zidane 68,880 for his. This is a sticker, right? Putting in your foot.
Yeah.
PSA 9.
Oh Jesus. 1991. Again, no one back then. Everyone put in albums. So the fact that they didn't put in an album is pretty remarkable already for 1991.
When do you think that changed, Vincent?
Sorry.
When do you think that changed, the album, putting stickers in albums, or do you think the majority of people still do that now? Yeah,
sure. That's what it's for, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but everyone, if I said it before, like the next World Cup album, I'm gonna collect it. I'm gonna buy the stickers, buy the album, put them in. That's just whatever European country does. Like the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, France, they all do it. So there was also no incentive to keep him. I mean, why would you buy stickers, not put them in albums? That was not everyone after school. You just went to the local shop, you bought some packets, and you brought them home. That's what you did. You didn't just buy the packets and then just let them sit there unopened. Like now it's a big thing. Sealed wax. Back then it was just stupidity, buying it and not opening it. It's like, what are you doing? Like I want to get my favorite player and swap my non-favorite players with for my favorite players. Yeah. That was the whole point. So it's just new to, I guess, non-Americans or Europeans. Like we didn't care. That's why you see a lot of these vintage cards with damaged backs, because people put in albums and now they're seeing the price on these things and they try to peel it off like very, very carefully. So even a PSA 1 or 2 can be like a $5,000 card, because some of these things are so rare and they're all put in albums that actually finding one is already an achievement. That's why I said sometimes a PSA 2 is actually a PSA 9 because of the scarcity.
Yeah.
So.
I used to collect the World Cup stickers and put them into albums as well. And I used to think, oh, I've got 2 Cannavaros, I need a Vieri, you know what I mean? Like, and I used to throw out the Cannavaro. I would have liked to have a lot of those greats back. Bloody hell. But it was exciting. It was great fun. It was like a connection I had with my dad, and I think that may be something that could bring a lot of the Europeans back in, a lot of that nostalgia long term. But I do understand to Troy's point and to Pedro's point as well. It's very hard for Europeans to get over the hump and to understand the card market in some respects.
Yeah, it's also maybe because we have stickers and they grew up with baseball cards, so it's already a gap.
Yeah.
Like we are like, why would I buy a 12-year card? And they're like, why would I buy a sticker? So I kind of get it too. So yeah, maybe, as I said, maybe we're really thinking about what it meant for the player, while Americans are like, I like the Prism because I grew up with Prism and everything is Prism. So it goes both ways, as you said.
Petr's making a great point. He says that there's a lot of European sticker YouTubers that stating that stickers are worth pennies and that's all they'll ever be, but it could be a little bit short-sighted.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it someone said it once, I can't remember if it was Vincent or someone else, saying that stickers are like the high-end stuff to have long-term. Was it you, Vincent, said that?
What?
Someone said something once, I'm very paraphrased here, but something about how stickers are like a high-end item to have compared to a card, just because of the amount that how hard they are to grade.
Well, it's high end if it's like the craft. Then sure, it's high end, of course.
Yeah, I think that might have been in what context it was.
I don't think anyone is going. Let's say he's been put in the like a subset in the new Prism set. I don't think that will ever go for that price.
No,
that would be ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
But stickers are just the first rookie for many. Like you can argue that the about the 2018, some people call the 2018 Prism Mbappe's rookie because they don't like the sticker of 2016.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure. But the fact is that the sticker was first. That's the whole debate as well with PWCC and match attacks. Do we count that as a rookie? It's the same. Do you like the sticker? No, then you go for the first card, I guess, even though it's 2 years after it.
DDC saying high-graded stickers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, stickers are super hard to grade, and as I said, they were kept in albums, or no one cared about like even before joining the hobby. I never heard of top loaders and sleeves, so
yeah,
that's just how it worked.
Cool. So, final segment of the show, we'll go into our picks or cards we've been looking at, particular players we've been looking at, wax have been looking at. Any way that you guys want to take it. Who wants to go first?
Give me 1 sec. I'll go second. If I can.
Looks like it's on me.
Anti-climax, man. What the hell?
Sorry. I just want to get it up first.
What have I been picking up lately? I'll share my fun one that I mentioned at the top, but I picked up Paulinho, 1922 sticker. He's a Filipino footballer who played for Barcelona and was a legend over there. So that was just big. Buying that, I know it's like it goes both ways. I sold a Vinicius optic base PSA 10, and then I bought that and had money to spare. Like that was just, it's just funny, but it made me really happy to buy that. It brought me an immense sense of pride to pick that up. So that was my fun one, and I have been going crazy on Topps Chrome 2017. I literally I'm not too much of an addictive person or like a overspender, but I just cannot stop, especially with how cheap they've gotten. There's like one guy who keeps selling them, and I picked up a lot of the golds out of 50. It had some cool names in there: Casillas, PK, Thiago Silva. No, like Ronaldo or anything. But I got that for $200, I believe, and it was 19 for $200. So it was like 10 bucks a pop. So basically, just I feel like the prices have gotten too low, and every time I see it, to me, it feels like a deal. So I just keep buying for whatever reason.
They do say very cheap from what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, it's very cheap. Look up like Topps Chrome 2017 purple or blue or something, or look up the gold. Look up the gold, and then you'll probably see the one I bought. And if you go to the completed, it should be there. There you go. Almost. Oh, I guess it's not showing up. All right. Well, sorry, but yeah, there's a lot of they are very cheap now. Even a lot of those guys, like, I don't know. It's just cool to me. Like that's another example. Like go up. It showed up at the top. It was one I bought at the very top.
Chris Smalling auto out of 50.
I bought that Jesus Navas for $1 because I like Jesus Navas. I was like, oh, this is a cool card to have for $1. It's like that's just something and a lot of them are, you can get Modric, picked up Modric, nice stuff. Like these are legends, and it's gotten real cheap. Like Lewandowski refractor PSA 10 is now like $60 or something. That's barely the cost of grading. I don't know how to justify it, but I just feel that's very cheap. The Bale, look at Bale auto, $29. That Bruno refractor I sold a PSA 8 for $250. So maybe that shows I was wrong, and that's why they went down. But I do just feel that this set, for whatever reason, has gotten extremely, extremely cheap recently.
Well,
it's a very nice set. 2017 Topps Chrome. I just love it.
Beautiful looking set, 100%. Yeah.
Especially how we were saying too, sort of, if you pick, like, say, First Prism, for example, if you're betting on a set, maybe not betting, well, I guess sort of betting or speculating on a set that moves with the market, and you'd like that continuation. Yeah, this would be like the first 2017 Topps Chrome Champions League set would be it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that one.
Yeah, because actually a good thing I just thought of as well is to draw a comparison to baseball is Bowman Chrome, first prospect. That's the card to have, even though it is never their first card. They always have cards that come out before then, but because it's always been the one, you can get Mike Trout, Bowman Chrome. Well, not always, but for the last long time, that is by far the most valuable card because it has that continuation. And I think Champions League will be that because, like I said, the stickers, some people just don't want to get caught up in trying to, it's a lot of work to figure out like a guy's true rookie, but if you can just go boom, Topps Chrome Champions League, it's easy.
Yeah, true.
I like it. Lucky, yours?
Well, mine sort of, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. So I thought from the research I've done before, he'd only had a sticker that came out last year, but it turns out now he's in not Immaculate, the other one.
Who's this?
It was I'll just say the player. It was Emil Smith Rowe for Arsenal. Had a good game on the weekend. I just found out that he has a card in one of the high end sets this season.
Doesn't he also have a sticker in the tabloid release?
He's got a what's the drawing one?
Impeccable. So
yeah, he's got one in Impeccable. If you go down, I thought he just had one sticker from Premier League. The Premier League top set stickers. I thought that's all he had, but it turns out I'm wrong because that was the last time I checked. I checked a few months ago, but
he also has a top
the
now.
living set. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, living. Oh, yeah.
What one were you saying, Vincent? Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, I was.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like the same with the Saka rookie sticker, the tabloid one. I think he also has one in there. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. But
yeah, that's why I just to be honest, I thought he only had stickers, so that was gonna be my play, but it turns out I'm wrong. So at $219, I'm probably not buying that at the moment, but everyone do their own research, as we always say.
Vincent, got
Okay,
any?
look out for.
Yeah, I've been buying more crypto.
Really?
Yeah, crypto and stocks. But now actually, while we were talking about the Prism stuff, I was actually looking at 2014 Prism, 2018 Prism Kevin De Bruyne cards, and they're actually pretty cheap. I'm not gonna lie. And
Would you get his 2016 Euro Prism, or would you get his 2018
World Cup. World Cup.
You get the World Cup? Okay.
I would.
I
And
personally go for the 2016.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's all what you said. I keep using it myself. Like a 2014 PSA 10 went for $35. Like how much lower can that go? I'm fine with it going to zero, you know. But it's like 35 during the World Cup. If Belgium kind of performs, I can see that go to 75, and it's already graded. Like $35 for a graded PSA 10, and it's Prism, like it's World Cup Prism. I can also go for the 2014, and he also has a 2016. He also has a 2014 one, but it's a team picture with Lukaku. Those are actually his first Prism cards.
Pedro just mentioned it in the chat before. Actually, I wasn't reading.
Oh,
it.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, we skipped it then. But I don't like these team pictures. Like the same with the Haaland one, where you have like the team photo in the stickers, like cut in three. It's like, yeah, sure. But the 2014 Prism one is actually one full picture. So maybe that's the one. That's a play. But you see, 90. I already think that's high 90 for that one. But I would gladly pay 35 for a PSA 10 base. Even though it's base, it's still a risky play for me. But I mean, 35, is that going to go to 20 during a World Cup, or is that going to 75 during a World Cup?
You know, you've actually just sold me. I'm going to go and buy. No, seriously. Like, I'm just like looking. I haven't seen one that popped up to me so far, but like, I guarantee you can find a 2018 Prism De Bruyne numbered for like Vincent's head, like literally $35-$40.
Yeah, I think so.
I will be shocked if you cannot sell that during the next World Cup.
Yeah, unless he gets injured, of course, that's a bet you're willing to take. But they'll nurture him for the World Cup. So,
but that's the thing with how things have gotten. Like, I mean, sure, call me an idiot. I remember when I was paying $40 for De Bruyne Prism base raw.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's just gotten to the point where it's like
I was the one selling them raw for 80.
yeah, it even got higher than that. So I wasn't even the biggest idiot. I was just the second biggest idiot. Which it makes me feel a little better. But yeah, it's just so cheap. It's just so cheap.
I think players like Benzema, Lewandowski, if they bring more teams into the World Cup, you have a higher chance of now middle to bottom tier teams. Like Poland is not a very good team, but if they play against even lesser good teams, you have guys like Lewandowski who can score more goals. So you have a more chance of them getting in the highlight or picture. So I think that's also a sneaky play. If they bring in more teams, look for very good players in mid-table, like mid teams, and they will, become more desirable because people actually see them score international goals. I think that's maybe a sneaky good play too. If that makes sense.
I think also the thing to consider is there really is a flood that's coming back from PSA, and I think
for the next 2 years,
the overreaction. I think actually we're getting pretty close. We're getting close. They're through. Granted, there was a huge flood kind of when they raised prices, but I'm not going to say most, but a good amount of last year is actually done. Because there's a guy, Retro Hoops Collectibles, he does like an analysis. There's some guys who do analysis, and I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I remember like looking, and I've gotten some back. I actually got a Ultra Modern that popped that I literally submitted on the last day possible. So that was really weird. That popped before other stuff. But anyways, so I think we're actually getting there. And I think that, once things kind of settle, and also the other thing too, people are just like even like the Iniestas and stuff, people are listing them as soon as they come back, and that's crashing the comps. But I think things are going to kind of settle out, and there won't be the quite the avalanche. And then you might see stuff move, because that's really what it is. It's the people auctioning them fresh from PSA and it just keeps there's just not enough people to really sustain it, honestly, in the market right now. I think that's really what happened. And yeah, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, you boys, Lukey spoke about PSA and what's going to happen post, when they come out of the lockdown that they self-imposed. What are your thoughts, Troy? Like, do you think that all these people waiting for the PSA subs to be reopened at those lower price point, do you think that that's going to happen with PSA, or do you think that they're going to be quite significantly priced? And what's the impact of that?
I think that it won't be as bad. It won't be as flooded as people think it's going to be. Even if they opened up, they're going to have to do it gradually. But I honestly feel a $40 rate would not kill PSA right now, because one, they've increased their capacity a ton, and the stuff that was flooding PSA was like garbage, like pure. I'm not even talking about like, I wouldn't even consider like even though you would kind of call it like a Prism 2016 De Bruyne, that's not garbage. Like the stuff that was like the McDonald's Pikachu cards, or you guys don't follow basketball, but like Brandon Clark Prism base rookie. Like at least De Bruyne is something. Brandon Clark like might legitimately be out of the NBA in a year. And it's
I got some Brandon Clark cards.
Okay, sorry.
Sell them now.
Getting submitted to PSA.
Luckily, I don't have many either. Don't worry. It's all good.
It's gonna be like the pop report on Brandon Clark is gonna be like 30,000. Like it's not the people, and the thing is you can't make money submitting Brandon Clark Prism bases anymore, or Pikachu McDonald's cards. So it'll have to be a certain number, but I do think that it's just not profit. Before it was, especially at $10 too, it was profitable to submit anything. And I look back on some of my older videos. I think me and Vince didn't talk. I used to call it like the $40 slab theory. And it was true at the time. Anything that was relevant in any sense, as long as it was in a PSA 9 slab, $40, no question, you could move it. Like that's just how things worked. And now that's not how it works anymore. And people know that. So like, it's a select few. So I don't think it's going to get flooded like that. That's honestly how I feel.
Nice.
Right.
And you have a play?
Oh man, I think the Serie A strikers is the play, to be honest with you. I think that people sleep on Serie A in general, and I think that there's a real opportunity there, especially in the lead up to this World Cup. I really do. I think that Vlahovic, Osimhen, Zaniolo, Chiesa. I think people were sleeping on Chiesa and Barella way too much in the lead up to Euro, and they were scrambling to buy his cards, and you just saw this massive explosion. So I think that people don't watch Serie A week in, week out, in all honesty, unless they pop off in the Champions League. No one really will. So I think, like Troy says, there's not this huge rush to go get the cards. So I think that you've got some time, but definitely be on the lookout, because these strikers are unbelievable, and they are quite young as well. That's my thoughts anyway.
I would add Martinez into that as well.
Lautaro Martinez is a brilliant player. He's been brilliant for a long time, and he's quite young. He's learned a lot from Lukaku. Man, there's just so many. There actually is so many. It was Raspadori, Scamacca from Sassuolo. Brilliant players. And one thing to note is they're playing against really strong defenses, which I honestly believe if you plop them into a Bundesliga side, you will see a lot of goals, and you'll probably see a high card price. I don't know why Bundesliga is so highly regarded in the card market in comparison to Serie A. It's a little bit of a frustration of mine, but not so much so because I'm able to collect a lot of these cards quite cheaply. So yeah, that's my thoughts anyway.
And I actually, I'm going to ask one more question if you'll allow me to hijack it, because I just need some self-assurance here, and I really trust your guys' opinion on soccer. I bought my most expensive, outside of the Messi, which I consider like I don't get as worried about because it's Messi, but my most expensive soccer card ever. I just got Erling Haaland top finest gold, and I'm very excited about it, but I'm also worried now. Well, not worried, but like the injury and everything. I'm just curious, you guys, how legit do you think he is? Like what do you think about his future? Sorry, that was like really broad, but I'm just curious, like with what you've seen recently. And you can tell me it was a bad idea. I'm just genuinely curious.
I don't think it's a bad idea so much. It's just that, you know, a lot of things can go wrong in soccer, right? Yeah. So, you know, we've seen it a lot of players showing promise. Robinho's a big example that people make. Even Kaká's a big example, and he won a Ballon d'Or, right? He's never reached the heights that he could have. But where it stands right now, he's got the opportunity to be one of the greatest strikers ever lived, but he's still got to go out there and play for a big side and, you know, actually show it and not be injured. Like he said, he's got to get along with the coach. He's got to fit in a system. There's a lot more question marks than what a lot of people think that there are, but also he could be one of the greatest strikers to ever live. You know what I mean? Like it's a pretty good bet to make, I guess.
I guess my question would be too, like, because, you know, obviously I watched a little soccer, but I was not following it close at all. It's hard for me to remember, like, guys, like I was thinking about Pato. There's a Serie A guy.
Yeah.
Like, did he look as good as Haaland though? Like even Balotelli, like, did they look as good as he's performing? And that's a genuine question. I'm
players like
sure.
Robinho and Pato were the wonder kids. Like that was the next biggest thing that they were. It was unreal how they talked up Robinho, especially Robinho. Pato too, but Robinho was the Brazilian kid, and he was the next this, and he was going to break all-time records, and he was the guy. And it's the same now with Messi, with Mbappe and Haaland. Well, they get portrayed as the next big things. That being said, I do believe Haaland is something different. He's special. The more I watch him and just him, the more you realize that I think I said it last week, that power he has, the true power, and he's still developing. That being said, like all that power, it's like it demands a toll on your body. It's like Mbappe. That's why I would rather choose Haaland than Mbappe. Haaland is Mbappe is really dependent on his speed, and the older he gets, the more he's going to lose it. So he has to find another way, like Ronaldo. Like he used to be on a winger, came inside, dribbled 3-4 guys, and scored from the 16-yard, from the box. He's not doing it anymore. So that's my biggest fear. Well, that's my argument about Haaland or Mbappe long time. I would go for Haaland because his body is his body. Like he will always have that body, and the more like defenders have a hard time defending him. It's like Mbappe, you can a guy from the Jupiler Pro, he can stop Haaland, Mbappe, but Haaland, it's something different, man. His body is it's impressive, and the more I watch him, it's. That being said, Haaland is playing for Norway, so is that gonna be a I mean, Haaland, Mbappe already won a World Cup. Haaland's never going to win a World Cup, so I'm not really sure how that is going to be included in the card prices. But Haaland can become an all-time leading goal scorer in any competition he plays. The amount how he scores, it's unreal. But as Dan said, there's a lot of ifs and ifs, and he can go to a team and get on the bench, get injury problems, and that's it. So. I don't know, but I think Haaland is. If I had to bet on one of the two, I would go for Haaland.
Yeah, just to add a little bit onto there because these boys covered it pretty well. But yeah, the style between Mbappe and Haaland, as Vincent mentioned there, Mbappe is probably going to have to evolve his game more than what Haaland will long term. Yeah, that's all I have to really add about football. But I'm gonna talk in because you guys covered it pretty well. In terms of card selection, I like the finest because he's in his Salzburg kit and stuff like that. So I think that's a good move. Gold out of 50.
Yeah.
Out of 50.
Yeah, out of 50.
Yeah, out of 50 as well. Yeah, I like it.
Haaland in Salzburg kit, that's the real deal.
And it's a whole nother predicament too, because it's an SGC 9.5, and I'm like, oh boy, what do I do with this one? Like, it's gonna be if I ever go to move it in like a direct deal, I think it's literally gonna come to blows of us trying to value that card. You know, because it's gonna be like they're gonna be like, no, PSA 9. I'm gonna be like, oh, it's better though. So it's gonna be tough what I have to do with that. But
there's only one way to sort that out. You crack it and you send it off to PSA and you see what happens.
I know, but I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm actually a pretty risk averse guy. So if I see that come back in a PSA 9, like I literally won't be able to take it. Like I'm gonna jump off a cliff or something. Like some people can just it's honestly not even being like risky. It's being smart enough to be like, well, I played the odds. It just didn't work out in my favor.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, what did you do? You're so stupid. Why'd you crack it? Now you can't crack it again or something like that. So that'll be tough. I appreciate you guys, me being selfish there and getting a little reassurance. But I guess the one thing, what kind of sold me is like, I do think he's shown us more than other failed wonder kids that we've seen. Like I said, I'm not going to pretend to have been watching Robinho week in, week out, but I do think he's kind of like a step above that in terms of what he's actually produced now for like a period of time. That's just how I feel. But yeah, obviously there's still a ton of risk there.
He's mentally stronger than them. I feel. I feel he's got that personality that I hate, right? Like that arrogance and personality that he just wants to destroy you. There's the type of player that you want. There's Zlatan-esque, yeah, he's got that. And Pedro's got a question in the chat about Neymar, but Neymar was maybe even regarded higher than Robinho and Pato.
That would be one.
He's definitely kind of not really produced. Like he's produced for Brazil, but hasn't hit the heights that he's been, touted for. But I feel like mentally, Haaland's above in that regard. And I think that's half the game.
That's a great example though, because if I could have teleported like me now back to like 2014 or something, I think I literally would have bought like a whatever money I had, that's the Neymar card I would have bought. Like, especially him, I would have been so sold on him being like the greatest player ever. So he's one Neymar. Who really like. Yeah.
Do you think Neymar's going to Pedro's question? Do you think Neymar's going to break Pele's record at the World Cup?
He doesn't need much more from memory.
7, I think.
Depends what group he's in.
Yeah, it's a tough one to say from now.
But he can beat that earlier. He just needs 7 goals for Brazil. That's it. He doesn't need it at the World Cup. He just needs 7 more goals. He can play Bolivia and score 7, and there he is. There he is.
Yeah, I think he does, Pedro.
So that makes Neymar the all-time leading goal scorer for Brazil, above Pele and Ronaldo and all the other Rivaldo and all the other guys that were there.
GOAT confirmed.
There we go, GOAT status.
And last question. Sorry, go for it.
Sorry, I was just one quick aside. Maybe Luke remembers it too. I remember Pato and Neymar did a Nike commercial when they were still playing in Brazil with Ronaldo and LeBron. It was like they're like rushing into the field.
I remember it vividly. Yeah.
I have never. That might be my favorite commercial of all time. Like I just looked at them and like, we're 2 hours in, so maybe anyone who's made it here deserves this. But I was like man crush isn't the right word, but I was like, oh my God, these are the coolest guys I've seen in my life. They're so cool. They're so cool. I love these guys.
Oh, the night commercial in the cages were awesome too.
Joga Bonito.
Joga Bonito. Yeah, and the ones with the Western with Beckham and like the gladiators stuff on. I think it was Pepsi. That was nice one too. But Joga Bonito was the highlight for me.
My highlight was
the
the Brazilian team in the airport.
Yeah, that was a nice one too.
There was one Nike World Cup one they did that was pretty sick. It went for a few minutes.
Yeah, and then
that one was pretty cool.
And then the referee tackled him, right, or something like that at the end.
Yeah,
was it the referee?
Are you talking about my one or is that Dan's one?
I was talking about yours, Luke.
Yeah.
I'm confused now.
With the Brazil team. I was talking about the Brazil
Oh
team.
no, I'm talking about the other one. I think it was
Is it the Right
I
to
don't know,
Future one?
2010. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Was it 2010?
They have this scene where it's like Right the Future, right? So like the theme is what's going to happen. And they had Ronaldinho doing the move, and then they have Kobe. It's like fast forward, he shoots it, and then Kobe does the move. And oh man, I can't. No one appreciates this, but it's all right. It makes me so happy to think about this.
Yeah, the one that I remember as well was Wayne Rooney in the caravan where he's got like the beard and stuff. I don't even remember that being.
Oh no,
Daniel and Vincent, if you guys haven't seen these, you got to go and watch these commercials.
For sure, they would have seen it for sure. I remember during the World Cup, it was like every second ad was that.
Yeah.
Just one last question for Mr. T, because, and then we'll wrap it up because Troy's been very generous with this time. Do you guys put any value on the Obsidian set?
I love the Obsidian set.
Big Obsidian guy.
I did sell my Mbappe, but it's basically everything Americans value, right? It looks nice. Well, at least for me, it looks nice. It's all numbered. You have the greatest players on there. You have them both in their national kit as well. So I feel like every box checks. That was the first card I think I ever bought was Obsidian.
Me too.
Because of the reasons I just said. People always told me like you have to go for low numbered and cards that have great eye appeal, and that was for me Obsidian. So I don't understand why it's not like more hype or more recognizable. Or I'm not sure how to put it, but I really like it.
Pedro's giving you some tips in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I will say what Vincent knows. Once it gets to the end of the podcast, I get a little bit off the rails here. I'll say that YouTube is a tough game, especially like once you start growing and then the monetization comes into effect too. It's really tough because first of all, it pushes you to make a certain type of content, and the money stuff just does better. That's what a lot of people want to watch, and it gets more people onto the channel. And then also, but regardless of that, I would say that doesn't affect me too bad. Like I'm pretty good at putting out what I want to put out, but it's like you'll never make everyone happy. You know, like if you start making only collecting videos, and people are going to be like, oh, why don't you talk about things that like, because I'll watch certain people, I'll be like, all right, you're just like you're just, touching yourself, like you're just having a great old time up there purely for yourself, like do something that'll help people. So it's just tough. Like I guess the short answer is I'm trying to make everyone happy, so I'll take your feedback into account and try to make different type of videos for everyone.
Nice.
He's a guest on our show.
I told you, I warned you.
And he's getting slammed. What's going on?
Hey, Pedro, he's our guest. Okay, he's our guest. Like, come on. People will watch this and we know more guests on.
I know.
He's done well. He's done well.
I like the critique.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm talking way too much. Thank you guys for being so gracious and letting me talk so much up here. But Obsidian, I agree with Vincent. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful set. Yeah. It's like one of the earlier release products in the year as well. Like I remember I bought a Gravenberch because I think it was his first thing that wasn't Topps Living, besides stickers and stuff, obviously like that. So I think they'll keep it going. I think it looks great. Every one of the base cards is numbered, so that's pretty cool. And then they put the color blast in there too. They put the first Hawker color blast in there. Or not first. Blast, yeah. But it kind of shows me, I think it's a set they actually care about and actually does pretty well. So I think it'll keep going. And if it stays there at the beginning, then it'll have some significance.
I really like the Asian version.
Which one is that?
The red wave that they have, the Chinese red wave one. Like I saw the Pedri recently, and I loved it. And you can get it for a lot cheaper.
That one
is pretty sick.
Yeah, that one and the white Contra, the all white version. Have you seen that one?
Yeah,
I almost spent a bad amount of money on an Ansu Fati of the white because I was just like, it wasn't even like there's a couple times where I know I'm doing it like this is like, I just need it, not so much because I necessarily think it's an investment or anything like that. And I saw that Fati, I was like, I need it. I just need it in my life. So the good news is I'll probably be able to buy it for cheap in a couple years, hopefully. Actually, I'm not going to say that about my guy Fati. You're going to have a great career. Just keep on working hard.
I'll say my thoughts Obsidian. I don't know. I'm sort of. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's a nice set. Like it looks visually appealing. It's got the color, like you were saying, the black color bars in it were pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it I don't love. I don't know what it is. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe when I figure it out, I'll share. We'll see.
Prism. That's what it's all about. All right, lads. It's been a great show. 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think we should wrap it up here because we could be talking forever. Troy, thank you very, very much. Hope to have you on in the future, but you've been very generous with your time today. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. First guests of the show, Soccer Card Collective, Vincent, Luke, and Troy. Myself is Daniel. You'll notice in the show notes you can access all of our socials and YouTube channels. Peace. See you next week. We're out.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Soccer Card Collective on the Double Coverage Media Network. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to know when we go live. Also, feel free to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time. Peace.